So we are done cleaning the parts to be reglued. We have cleaned the midsoles from the super glue and the expired glue. So just to inform you, the shank plate also came off, and the two-part outsoles. So they're all clean, including the uppers. So we're ready to go to the second part of the restoration, which is the easiest. This is the all-purpose primer application and the restorer shoe glue application. So let's get to it. For applying the primer and the glue, you just need a paintbrush. Apply a thin coat of primer on both surfaces, and then after application, let it dry for at least 30 seconds. And after 30 seconds, you can now apply the first coat of the restorer's shoe glue. After the first coat of the shoe glue, let it dry again for at least 30 seconds, and then we can now put the second coating of the restorer shoe glue. After the second coating of the restorer shoe glue, let it dry for at least 2 minutes. Always clean your paintbrush with nail polish remover so that you can use it again. If you don't clean it, the paintbrush will get hard. So now we're ready to glue the shank to the midsole. So we need to glue the shank to the midsole first so that it could dry before we attach the midsoles to the uppers later on. So after activating the glue with the hair blower, just press it down, and then you can hammer it down to make sure that the parts are really stuck together, and then just leave it aside, and we can now work on the application of primer and 2 coats of glue to the midsoles and to the outsoles. Let me just go ahead and apply the primer and the shoe glue to all the parts. So again, just one thin coat of the all-purpose primer, and then 2 thin coats of the restorer shoe glue, and then after the second coat of the restorer shoe glue, just let it dry for at least 2 minutes. But the longer you let it dry, the better. If you can leave it overnight, that will be awesome. done applying the primer and the shoe glue. Let's now leave it to dry. I left it to dry overnight. We will now bond the outsoles to the midsoles. So first, position the parts in the right place and place your thumb there. Make sure that it won't move, and then now you can activate the glue with the air blower, holding it in place would make it easier for you to bond the parts together. It will make sure that they will be placed at the right spot, and you don't need to activate the glue on the whole part. You could actually do it piece by piece. It will be a lot easier. So don't forget to apply pressure when bonding the parts together. You could also just hammer it down to make sure that the pieces would really stick together. So there, we're done. We're gluing the midsoles to the outsoles. So we can now work on the uppers and the midsoles. So before applying the primer and the glue, just position the uppers to the midsoles and then try to look and see where you would need to apply the primer and the glue so that we can lessen the appearance of excess glue once done. So once you're confident, you can now apply again a thin coat of primer on both sides, on both surfaces, and then once the primer dries for at least 30 seconds, you can now apply the first coat of the Restore shoe glue. After the first coat of the glue, let it dry again for at least 30 seconds, and then apply the second coat of the glue. And after the second coat of the glue, leave it to dry for at least 2 minutes, or again, the longer the better, overnight. That will be great. This time, I let it dry for 4 hours. So we're now at the most exciting part, and that is regluing the uppers to the midsoles. When regluing the uppers to the midsoles, always work on the toe box first. But before that, make sure that the uppers are in the right position with the midsoles. So once you've made sure that the uppers are in the right place, we can now activate the glue on the toe box part. Activating the glue just takes around 30 seconds. But if you're using a heat gun, it will just take around 5 seconds. Once activated, now carefully stick the parts together, making sure that they are on the right place, and then apply pressure to the area for at least 15 seconds before moving on to the next part. Once done with the front or the toe box area, we can now remove the filling inside the shoe so that we can work on the back part. We put fillings inside the shoe before we apply the glue because the filling will stop the uppers from shrinking, because when the glue dries, it compresses and it shrinks the uppers. As you can see, I'm activating from the inside of the shoe. I'm actually activating the footbed, the back part. That's what I do so that it will serve as an anchor once I stick that, so the uppers are already stuck in place. It will make it a lot easier to work on the other parts. I'm not sure if other restorers do this, but it's something that I discovered along the way. So it's actually supposed to be a secret, but I'm comfortable to share it to everyone. Everyone that will watch my video, that is. So now we're working on the back part. After the back part, we can work on the sides. And then after the sides, we can work on the footbed. So that means we will be activating the glue again from the inside of the shoe. We're done regluing the uppers to the midsoles. We can now put back the insole pad, and we will be putting back the fillings inside the shoe so that we could hammer down the midsoles to the uppers to make sure that the parts are really, or the parts will really stick to each other. So there you go, we are almost done with regluing the whole shoe. So this is the second part video. I hope that you will come back for the third video. On the third video, we'll be cleaning the shoe and repainting the shoe. Because as you can see, the shoe has a lot of cracks. So So for now, let's just let it dry for 24 hours. And after 24 hours, we'll be back and we'll be cleaning the shoe, and I'll show you how we can mix the paint to get hopefully the exact shade of purple. Again, thank you for watching. So till the next one, guys, peace.